definitely wanted to speak on this. Usually I don't ever cover, celebrity news or movie news, but this one kind of really did hurt yesterday with AngusCloud. Rest in peace to AngusCloud, who plays Fezco on Euphoria, also known as Fez. And that hurt. That really did hurt. Also with PeeWeeHerman, I was kind of telling myself with PaulReubens, he never told anyone he had cancer for the better part of 6 or 7 years. So to see that he played Pee-wee Herman and he still had plans to play Pee-wee Herman, to have movies to play Pee-wee Herman, I was like, man, that should have gotten made, especially with the lengths that he did to keep the character and make him look young. You know what I'm saying? As Pee-wee's, like, he was in his 60s and still playing Pee-wee Herman, and being youthful. And I just look at the impact that had made on us as kids. And, with Pee-wee Big Adventure was such a classic. Me and my brother, we always talk about Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Like, every time we see each other, we're quoting movies. And that's always a movie we quote with, Large Marge and doing the Pee-wee Herman dance. It was just so many things about that. Like, he was just a person in that time where it was okay for a man to be youthful and playful, but he had so many different cool things, especially in Pee-wee's Playhouse. So he had so many different unique ideas and unique things of his house, how it coordinated. And even in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, his house did so much cool different things, and everybody wanted that cool bike that he had. And that was the synopsis of the whole Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Someone stole his cool bike, and he was on the hunt to get it back. And I just loved it. I loved, Pee-wee, like I said, for our time, for our childhood, it was safe. He was cool. He didn't do anything crazy. He didn't mess with kids, nothing like that. Like, he was just Pee-wee Herman, until his unfortunate charge that he made for what he did in the 90s, and that derailed his career. You can tell it derailed his career. But he's made small cameos, small roles, like in Matilda, Mystery Men. He did stuff in the 90s, but he could never really recover for what happened with those criminal charges, because he was a symbol for kids, you know what I'm saying? So that was something that really hurt his career, because I feel like if that wouldn't have ever happened, Pee-wee would have been a long-standing success, even in the early 2000s, to reintroduce it to those type of kids, you know what I'm saying? To be Pee-wee Herman in all 3 or 4 decades, you know what I'm saying? From the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, he could have been Pee-wee Herman, you know what I'm saying? So rest in peace, PaulReubens, because that was something that from our childhood, that was like, he was always, and I just was like telling myself, I'm like, for him to be 70, I was like, wow, I never knew his age. And I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he could have did a lot more, although we had the Pee-wee's, I forgot, it was a Pee-wee movie in 2016 that I checked out, and I was like, he still was youthful, you know what I'm saying? Although he was older and he had like CGI done in his face, but he was still youthful, and he loved that character, and he will always be loved for Pee-wee Herman. AngusCloud, Fezco, New Year Playboy, that really hurt me. That hurt me as Pee-wee was shocking. AngusCloud was hurtful. That hurt me to the core, where I was like, man, that was someone who I was telling myself, you're going to play Mac Miller in a biopic. He has the draw, the everything, the look of being Mac Miller, and he had a lot of, to me, just a huge rising star on his back from the success of Euphoria. He was one of the coolest persons on Euphoria. It made me want to pay attention to Euphoria other than Zendaya. Like, anytime I seen Fez on the screen, I'm like, what's about to happen with Fez? Because Fez was always that drug dealer with a peace of mind, and trying to change who he was and change his surroundings and just try to be a better person, but understanding what it is, you know what I'm saying, or what he's in. And he had that Oakland draw, so I loved it. I loved him as an actor. I loved him as a person. I think he was a beautiful person, bro. Like, just to be I've seen people post, and you could tell that's who he was on and off the screen. It wasn't Fez. You get AngusCloud, you know what I'm saying? AngusCloud plays Fez, not the other way around, you know what I'm saying? It's the fact that Fez was Angus, and from saying that was his first acting role, you could tell that that's who he is. You know, he embodied Fez, but that's just who he is. You know what I'm saying? Naturally. So he will be missed. Gone extremely, incredibly too soon. That really did hurt. That really did. You know what I'm saying? Because he has so much life to live. One, couldn't even really experience the joys of having kids, getting married, stuff like that. Just, you know, living your everyday life. But grief can be really, really hard. As my father also passed this year, it does take a toll on your mental health, and like I said, it's something to always think about and talk to. That's why you should always be there for the people who has experienced loss of that magnitude, to be there for them. You know what I'm saying? Even if they don't, they're always saying they're okay. Be there for them. You know, and that's something that's teaching me to always keep someone that you feel like that can keep you on your toes. Make sure that you're always around that person. So, you enjoyed my celebrity news, you know, review. Subscribe to my channel. Post a comment down below. Like the video. It's your boy, D Dice. Peace.